Hi everybody, it's Danny Sorensen here. I'm going to do a review for you guys on the sPand, which I just received from Daniel Reis in Portugal, and the Pantam Stand from Aviot over in Israel. So we're going to do a real quick cross-reference here and see what you guys think, okay? So here's what we got going on. We got the Pantam Stand here, and we got the sPand going here. Two different products going on. I've had the Pantam Stands for a little bit here, and they've been really great as far as, like, you know, my gigs over at Universal. They're great for busking and such, and I really haven't had an experience yet to try the sPand out. So we're gonna go ahead and do a quick comparison here. Here's how they come. You can see these are the tops right there. Okay, you can see how they compact, and then you have the feet here. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and break it down. I'll show you how they come together. Basically, for this Pantam Stand, I consider it pretty easy because you can pretty much just take it and go like this, lock it down, pull your legs up, and you're good to go. It locks into place, and you have these clips here that keep it in position. And it's kind of like preset. You can like set your size for what you want. But what I've run into here on occasion, if you don't watch out and you reach around and you go to grab this or something like that, you hit that, and all of a sudden it falls and your pan goes falling down, and that's not a good thing. And that has happened to me once or twice, and I've caught them each time. You know, you either go to move and you see it lifts up, that's not good. You got to move from down here. If you move from down here, you hit it like that by accident, and yeah, not good. So, but the breakdown's really easy. Do that, unlock it, and fold it up, and ready to go. Now, sPand. Same, different concept. You got these tightening nuts here. Okay, you got to take these, you got to loosen these up, and that way it allows your movement. You got to do this on all 6 legs. There's 6 of these arms that come out, and you got to loosen them up to open the stand up. Okay, so now you got to do the bottom. That's the other 3. So there's 3 and 3. Okay, and so you loosen. Now it's ready. Now it expands out. Good to go. All right, now put it down. Lock those nuts up. Sorry, I got it bad. You lock those up like so. Okay, I'm gonna put it up here so you can maybe see it a little bit better. Lock them into place. So you got 6 nuts you got to lock in, and what that does, see, that enables everything to stay rigid there. Okay, if y'all can see that there. Okay, so, you know, as far as setup goes, this takes a little bit more time. Okay, and the premise with this is basically that it's a sturdier setup. Okay, so you get it all set up and you're ready to bring the legs up. Now you have 3 clamps like this that allow you to pull the legs up. Now the tubes, there's one tube into another tube there, okay, and the feet spin, so you got to make sure your foot is aligned, okay, with the arm here. Otherwise, you know, you got to watch out, you'll get into your pants. So that I'm not as keen on with these, because you got to like kind of make sure they're lined up and stuff. So let's do the quick line up, loosen it up, bring it up, loosen it up, bring it up. And again, you don't have notches, so you got to kind of like eyeball where you want to put it. Okay, then you get it locked down. Okay, and pan settles on these feet like so. Now, what I found is, let's do this. I'll put this one off to the side, and now we'll move to the stand-ups here. Okay. Now, stability. Granted, I'm on some carpet here. Okay, so it's a little less stable, but you can see the difference here. I tend to feel that the Pantam Stand has a little bit wider of a footprint on the bottom here, which gives it a little bit of a pyramid shape, which I believe gives it a little bit more stability, whereas the tubes are parallel that come off the span, and you don't really have a chance to spread that footprint out a little bit. So it's relatively stable, but it's a little less, I think, little less stable than the Pantam Stand. So I'm gonna have to give points to Pantam Stand on that one. Now, playing. These are both great for playing. Like, they're adjustable. You can play standing up, you can play sitting down. What I found with the Pantam Stand, when you sit down, oh, see? Oh, goodness. I barely touched it. So that demonstrates right there what I was warning you about before. You touch that clip, all of a sudden it goes flying. Oh, bueno. Okay, so let's just be careful and don't move the stands with a pan on it, okay? But we're gonna do it anyway. Now, I'm gonna bring it down here, grab it from the bottom. These tend to get in the way. These uprights tend to get in the way of sit-down play a little bit. Bring it all the way down. Okay, bring it down like so, and you bring it to play. Like, it's all right, but I tend to get a little buggered up in there. Okay. Like, it works. It's really nice. It's a nice feel. Now, let's go ahead and switch out here. And we're going to put this on here for right now and adjust this to sitting mode. The span comes as such. You got to loosen up your tubes, push down, loosen, push down. And the tubes themselves, even when they're loose, they're pretty tight, okay? So they're not going to go flying down like the Pantam Stand just did. So points on the span for that one, for being a little bit more secure. And you can hear air coming through. So there's a seal on the bottom of the tubes. Now, we get on sitting position here, and that's its lowest position. That feels pretty good. And it gives me clearance to play as well, and I like the footprint better for sitting down with a span too, because I can get my feet closer in like this, especially in this configuration. Access to the bottom notes. Side by side to see. Yeah, so they both sit about the same height, sitting down in their lowest position. So that's pretty effective too. Now here's one of the selling points for me for the sPand. It's quiet. Okay, that's why overall I believe that generally speaking, the Pantam Stand is good for, I think, like a busking or live gigs. Because I've noticed, like, when I recorded a little bit, not that I'm a major recording person, but I'm working on that, that, can you hear that? Those rattle. And you get, like, funky noise coming, from all over. And another thing that I've had issue with the Pantam Stand is these clips here, there's a nut that tends to loosen up, and it makes it a little harder to, I'll show you here real close. See right here, this nut tends to come loose, and it's a lock nut too, and I've had to tighten these up a couple times. That's a little bit of frustration too. I also have a little bit of an issue with the pads. Like, you got this rubber pad and you got this foam that goes around it there, and it's, it functions, but I've had a couple, like one of my foam pads is already tearing, and I put a lot of use in these too. So, and in comparison, you've got the sPand with its feet, but it's at a particular angle. And I've noticed that my RAV does not quite sit on this too well. I don't know if you can see. Let me come back here. The RAV is right on the edge. So for a smaller diameter, ooh, look at that, it's slipping right off too. So be cautious when you use these things, okay? It's a stand, okay? And all stands have, an ability to move or whatever, and it's most of the time your pans are only held in 3 positions, so just be very careful, okay? It's something you got to get used to. Again, this is not made for smaller diameter pans or RAV, I don't think. So I don't think it would be appropriate for that. It's a wrong angle. And okay, this brings up another issue. I believe, you know, when everything's all locked down, it's a pretty secure unit, but it still has a little bit of like lateral shake to it. I think that, you know, the cross members on the Pantam Stand tend to make it a little bit more secure laterally. Like, you don't get as much lateral motion as you do with the sPand, and the tubes will flex out just a little bit, you know, give you a little bit of spread, whereas the Pantam Stand's arms are pretty rigid when they are in position. Okay, so to review, I believe the sPand, if used in, say, like a studio setting where it's fixed and you have noise concerns and you don't want to hear extra rattle, it's a great tool for that. You know, overall, I don't think I would want to use this consistently out like a busking or anything like that. I think it would eventually take some wear and tear. To give you a little breakdown, you can see here all these pieces, I believe, are 3D printed like a plastic or a resin, and then you have aluminum tubes that go through. You have a piece of all thread for the nuts that are hinged here, and kind of like what I believe is a tape that's going over it to kind of like, you know, give yourself a stopping point for your nuts there. My suggestion would maybe to be use a piece of like maybe shrink tubing or heat shrink tubing of some kind, maybe, because this tape is already starting to come up on the edges a little bit. I know you see kind of like air bubbles and such too, so you know, you got to be cognizant of that. Also, I did have one piece that was cracked. Let me show you here. On delivery. Let's see if you can see that right there. Okay, but I've already spoken to Daniel about it, and I believe it was maybe broken in transit or something, perhaps. Okay, but the thing about the sPand, what Daniel explained to me, is it's modular. So, you know, you can replace these pieces. If this breaks, you can replace it relatively easily. So he's going to send me another piece, and I'll be replacing this. It's just a couple Allen nuts that are holding that in place. And I think, you know, if you have even minor skill, you can figure it out. Like I said, I've done, you know, some fix-it work on my Pantam Stands already, and, you know, I've done a little bit on this, or it looks like I'm going to be doing a little bit on this. So yeah, so that's what I feel are the strong points of both the sPand and the Pantam Stand. In closing, I think the Pantam Stand is great for busking. It's great for live work because it's quick and easy to set up and break down. My tendency to think is it's a little bit more stable than the sPand is. I believe the sPand is great for studio work. It's a nice, clean presentation, and I believe that, you know, we're kind of in, you know, these are his initial prototypes that are coming out, and so maybe there's room for different improvement for different things and such, you know, and I've given my suggestions. Perhaps, you know, a little bit of a change on the rubber pads. I could use a little bit of a bigger rubber pad. I found that, you know, my pan will make contact with that little plastic piece, because, you know, see if you push the rubber down, it gets right there. So, yeah, it's these little nuances that, you know, we work out as we work with products and figure out their nuances and their ins and outs and such. So overall, very happy with both of the products, and I'm sure to get use out of all of them. And everybody has to take, you know, their own considerations in when using these products. You've seen some of the issues that I've already had even in this demonstration here with things that I feel, you know, need to be looked at. So always use caution when using stands, because they're not 100% safe. You know, that's how I knocked my second gen Hong out. I actually made my own tripod way back in the day. Anyway, that's a history lesson for another time. if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. I'll try to answer it. And if not, contact Daniel Reis directly, or you can contact the crew over at Aviot, and they can answer your questions there too, because I'm not really official in any official capacity for either company. Just your friendly pan guy here, community pan guy, giving you a little review on my thoughts on these products. So yeah, thumbs up on both these products. Both have room for improvement, I believe, and modification and change, but overall great products, and a great experience playing on a stand if you haven't had a chance. I enjoy the diversity in it. I enjoy being able to have a few pans in front of me. I'm going to try and experiment with maybe 3 or 4 pans with the 4 stands I got. So yeah, anyways, that's that. Like I said, if you have any questions, hit me up. I'm more than happy to try and answer or do whatever. I'll send pictures or any other impressions you might want from me. All right, y'all have a great day, great evening, or whatever. Thanks for listening to this review, and we'll talk soon. Peace.